Okay, let's wait for a while. Okay, hi, how doing? Nice to meet you guys. Um, you guys can hear me, right? I think probably most of you guys can hear me. And yeah, so first I want to welcome you guys for today's session. So welcome to X-Pert session 5. Um, Today we're going to talk about agility with DevOps on Kubernetes. So if you guys want to know more about that, today our speaker will be mentioning more about that lah. Okay, so basically DevOps, I think DevOps is a very interesting stuff. Yeah, from my understanding, it's like combined software development and IT operations, which is like a pretty demanding things. As just DevOps engineer, also a demanding job nowadays. So probably you guys can get more insights about DevOps. And so Kubernetes, Kubernetes, which is like orchestration tools or system that actually manage the containers, which is basically those containers such as like Dockers and stuff. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, Mike. Yeah, so for you guys who are new here, right, I want to introduce you guys to this our series. So basically, this event we invite speakers from different industries, the different technology industries, to share about their experience and knowledge to our university students. So previously we had talked about UI UX, we had talked about AWS Cloud before. We also talked about IoT stuff, and also the previous expert session we talked about we talk about a self-driving car startup in Malaysia. We invited them to give a speech on how they actually made it. And yeah, we do get people who are saying that these sessions actually help them to widen their eye spread, widen their view on the tech careers, on the tech stuff in the Malaysia, not in Malaysia, in the whole world. And yeah, we actually wish to bring students to know more about the tech stuff, which are not in textbook but in the industry, and basically make you more industry prepared. Yeah, and also forget to introduce myself. I'm Kim. I'm the founder and lead of XMUM Tech Club. So basically, we aims to bridge the gap between academic and also industry to let students get people to be more prepared for the industry. Yeah, let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so without further ado, right, I want to invite our speaker here, Chris Voon. He had been working for more than 15 years in the IT industry, working with like insurance, media and advertising, telco, education, IT consulting, outsourcing, and currently he is working on he's a solution architect at Ali Cloud. Let's welcome Chris.
Hey, hi. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, hi Kim. Hey, thanks for the introduction.
Yeah.
Hello everyone. How many people do we have today?
Oh,
About
I think we have 20 plus
20
a little
plus.
bit.
Okay, okay. Hi. Good to see you at in the evening of a Friday night. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of. I know
Yeah.
everyone must be tired. But yeah, thanks for joining. I hope I'll make this as a impactful or to bring you at least some industry knowledge of um what the industry is happening, around DevOps and Kubernetes, and hopefully you get entertained. If not, at least you get educated, right?
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah. Probably, and also we really wish that students can get to know more about this because, like, from what we know from the students, right, we didn't actually learn about Kubernetes
Mm,
or like Kubernetes and DevOps stuff in university because it's very new stuff and it's
mm,
really trending stuff nowadays. So
right.
really wish everyone actually get to know this
Yeah.
stuff, which are very exciting. I
Yeah.
personally know a little
Yeah.
bit, but not much to actually work on that. Yeah, and yeah, really wish to get this.
Yeah.
Probably Chris, you want to introduce yourself and
Okay.
probably the state of Ali Cloud to our participants before we start.
Yeah. As you have shared, I've been working in the IT industry for over 15, more than 15 years now. I started as a software engineer in Singapore. I graduated in NTU and then I continued working in Singapore. And then as a software engineer, I've been doing software ever since lah. Yeah, it's been my passion. I always enjoy doing software development. And then I I work with different companies, across different industry like government, education, and then more recently insurance, and then media advertising, and then now I'm solution architect with Alibaba Cloud. I've been a solution architect for the past 6 years. So maybe a bit of my career sharing. So probably will be something interesting, hopefully, to you. So yeah, from a software engineer, I've always liked something that's more logical. You can predict the outcome of a certain thing. When you just debug or you build something, you always see a result. There's a very fast feedback response. Immediately I see something. Oh, I made it. I made something. That's where the excitement is, right? So it's very logical work. You basically just have to make sure the code work, right? You don't much have to deal with people, but probably not so much nowadays with DevOps. You probably need to step out a little bit more to deal more with people. Understand what is the requirement, why certain things need to happen in certain ways, and that's where I gradually progress into a different role of a solution architect, which focus more on the higher level design. Thinking through what needs to be in place for a system to work rather than doing the coding itself, right? I've been doing repeatedly coding for more than 10 years. So I think that's probably sufficient. My favorite is .NET and still .NET. I have to say that it's one of the best language. Yeah.
I actually learned it this semester.
Yeah, one of the most complete, I would say, and well thought out. But of course, there are many other languages like Python is catching up a lot, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, the gist of it is really you can learn any language and be good at it, right? It doesn't need to be a specific language or anything, but don't it's something that you can be good at, and then build on top of it. Yeah, don't just hold on to it, right? Don't feel like you're married to that
Yeah, yeah,
language,
yeah.
which is something that I believe probably something on the hindsight lah. I can improve on myself. Yeah, I probably a bit too much, in it. I should explore a bit more in Java also. But I'm also multilingual lah in different like Python now. I do a bit of Python,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that aside, so providing solution is like a higher level lah. You need to deal with people. You also need the technical portion. Be interested in the system on why things need to be certain ways. The human side of the IT. So-called the softer side of things lah. So yeah, that makes you a bit more rounded. Rather than every day coding, coding, coding. Now you have a bit more chance to talk to people, share more.
Yeah.
So okay, I think that's probably a little introduction of myself. I'll quickly jump into the topic.
Yeah. Probably,
Can one? No, okay, I need to share my screen,
yeah,
right?
probably can share your screen. Yeah. Then at the same time, I will leave the stage to you.
All right, sure.
Sure.
Please feel free to ask questions. I mean, it'd be good that you have questions. You just
Yeah.
let me know, and then I can try to address as much. Yeah, make it
Yeah.
fun.
So everyone, you can just leave your question at the chat session. So if any time, Chris will actually help to answer your questions regarding DevOps, Kubernetes, or even like cloud stuff or Alibaba Cloud things there. Okay.
Whenever
So
I can. Okay, cool.
give the stage to
Let's
Chris.
get started. Thank you. Let me just rearrange. So today's topic, right, is really on Kubernetes and DevOps lah, and why the need of it. Yeah. So we'll talk a bit about what is DevOps and the benefits, and then what are some of the best practices of it, what are some of the tools that is commonly used inside DevOps. And in the end, I'll be sharing with you a demo that how this is done using Alibaba Cloud. Okay. So yeah, like what I shared just now, DevOps is like first the definition, delivery process improvement by unifying software development and operation. So keyword unifying, yeah. Then there are two parts, yeah. When you develop something, you often say, oh, I'm done already, but eventually it need to run, right, in a production, we call it. So you have to deploy it. Yeah, either you do it yourself or you pass it on in a bigger organization. Typically, you will have someone who look after your infrastructure, which is your servers. Yeah. So you throw the code over and say, hey, I'm done. Yeah, please go and deploy it for me. So this guy, without knowing what you have done, what you have built, what features, he'll yeah, definitely he will follow your instructions, try to push it over. Yeah, a lot of time he doesn't really know what you have done. He need to ask you sometimes, oh, what file have you changed, what configuration you made. So then these two guys need to kind of work together a lot, right, in order to deploy the work. Yeah. So in the past, right, before the DevOps come along, this is very manual. Yeah, I still remember. Yeah, I came from a rather smaller company, so I do it all myself. I have to log into the server, and then I copy my code over, and then I have to kind of copy it to a certain folder, and then just do some smoke testing, making sure everything works right. In a bigger organization, you probably pass to someone. Yeah, but nonetheless, either case, it will be a process that is involved. Yeah, you need to copy the code. It's mundane. Yeah, you have to repeat it. Some more you make small change and then you need to copy again. Some small change and you copy again. So this process has been very manual in the beginning. So with DevOps, right, it's aimed to smoothen the process, make everything very smooth, very easy. One click. Even sometimes don't need to click. Yeah, everything is there. So it's trying to merge the two and make things easier lah. Okay, moving on. How it get started? Yeah, but one more thing I'd like to talk about is so everyone can get a little excited or rather pay more attention is there will be 3 questions, yeah, that will be asked at the end, that there'll be some prize for it. Yeah, so catch out for some of the keywords. Why I start with this page, there's a reason for it. You will know later.
Get your
Right.
prize from Alibaba. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it started with this guy Patrick Dubois. Okay, he's a French. So he was very frustrated and then he was working with this system guy, and then yeah, he seemed to have a lot of breakdown communication. After he developed something, he always need to go to this person. This person doesn't seem to bother so much. He feel like there's a gap. Something is missing. So he continued on this adventure with Andrew Schaefer. They talk about the conference. Last time only 2%. Back then 2008. But it was about 13 years ago only. Then another 2 engineers from Yahoo Faker. They came out with a talk that has been became very successful or very famous. 10 plus deploys a day. So that kind of kickstart everything. And Patrick Dubois just said, why I cannot join your conference, too bad. I'm like somewhere out there, hopefully next time I can join you. Then someone just tweet and say, why not you start your own start your own call. Then he started his own called DevOps Day Kim very keen, can start something. Yeah, lead the initiative, So he started this day DevOps Day. He need to give you a name. So he named it DevOps, Dev development and ops operation. So they combined the two. So yeah, then ever since, right, everybody start talking about this thing, DevOps, what it is, and there are new tools have been created, Chef, Puppet, Jenkins, these are tools, orchestration tools, and it's becoming an industry now, where you can make money from it. You can actually build products and even go listed in a public exchange, like Nasdaq, and you can earn big bucks. In short, that's something that the technopreneur's dream, right? So to say. So there's money to be made there lah. And then bigger companies like SolarWind, Splunk went public lah. Then there's this book called DevOps Handbook, which is published. I highly recommend if you're keen, right? It's like a story. You basically you can listen to audiobook lah. There's books that you can listen. That will help you to understand what actually is. A lot of interesting stories. Then there's infrastructure as code that help you to program the entire infrastructure. We'll talk a bit more into the details. I try to skip next. Okay. Challenges before DevOps. Things are very manual. Like I said, you have to copy over things before you can make it work. Compile. You have to run testing. You have to run ensure everything works. Very mundane. Then inconsistent, because you have many environments, right? Then you start copying file, then one system you forget, it's very late already. Maybe you just went out for dinner and then you come back, then you forgot. So things like that. You rely on manual, that will be problem. Restricted monitoring. So if you need to see anything inside whether the system is running smooth or fine, or a log file inside, you have to go and manually go and log in. So that's very manual also. So in order to improve things and make it very smooth, right? Or we call it agile, which is responsiveness, ability to respond, right? There need to be a lot more monitoring, what's happening inside. Then there's also lack of ownership lah. Someone yeah, after you build a code, you don't know who actually caused the error. So there's no accountability lah. Then in a big team, right, you're very hard to find out who was actually causing it and who are supposed to go and find to get to fix the problem. So there need to be some ownership also lah, right? So some of these are problems that, and before DevOps, right, you have developer, trying to just finish off their new features as soon as possible. They have to do manual merging. They sometimes don't know what's happening in the bigger landscape. There are other requirements that the ops manager need to manage. Like patches and HTTPS. The more higher level things, compliance requirement. If you work in the finance industry, you have a lot of compliance to meet. Yeah, there are many requirements, right? So you may not be aware of those. Yeah, the IT ops manager may be more aware of it, and they know what need to be done with it. So the two definitely need to work together. So slower deployment rate, yeah, once a month maybe, yeah, because it's so mundane, right? You also don't want to do it. Yeah. IT ops manager will just want to make sure things working. He has a SLA to ensure, means that the site not supposed to down lah. He wants to use. He has very little knowledge what you've done. Long integration time. And it needs to fix. Sometimes developers say it works on my computer, but too bad. IT ops manager will have to deal with it lah. And yeah, it's too open for a developer, and also that creates a potential of a hacking. You nowadays you come to security, right? Your own people may not be trustable people. So nowadays, yeah, even people say oh, he's from my own organization. I can trust him. But even nowadays, hacking and cybersecurity has become much of a concern. Even your own person, you may not want to give him more rights than what he's supposed to lah. That's the general guide, right? Okay, then there comes a DevOps engineer lah. First of all, this is a job lah. You can actually, there's a job, a role assigned. There's if there's an opening, organization hires DevOps engineer, like what Kim has mentioned now. It's become a new role. You can actually aim to become a DevOps engineer. Hopefully by the time you graduate, I believe it's still there lah. I don't think it will go away anytime soon. So basically what he does, right, he owns a automation tool set. How to build code, how to deploy your code, how to write scripts that will make sure that things will happen, how to build and also enhance your build, ensure that security is also there. Nowadays, by the way, there's also this thing called DevSecOps. Basically, a lot of security components is also added into it. Yeah. So basically, you also, maybe it's also a good idea to know a bit more about security. Yeah, so making build works, and then build scripts or pipeline, monitor everything works. When there's something that doesn't build correctly, then you are the one who need to work on it lah. And you need to know that your code quality, you need to integrate with those code quality tools, or maybe project management tool. Let's say you have Jira, your Confluence, something that will help you to manage your entire development work. Yeah, you can integrate with those. Strategize your code branching, that basically you have multiple code branch. You want to deploy a blue and green, two different versions of your software, and then run it 90%, 10%, kind of thing. So you have to have some ways to organize your code so that you can you can have a better control what you want to deploy. Yeah, on a dynamically, right? Nowadays, things moving very fast, so there need to be a lot of capability like this. Okay, benefits. Yeah, I think it's probably come from the problem. Yeah, if you can make everything smooth and convenient, yeah, and then there's a lot of automation. You don't have to build your code. You don't have to spend so much time, trying to figure out this computer environment and that environment and what's the difference. Trying to diff the two and see or which file is missing, or which file is problem. You no longer need to do that lah. It's very convenient. You one click. End-to-end monitoring, yeah, you can basically know what has been deployed on which machine. Yeah, that's very clear track record. Yeah, it gives you visibility. You can see things very quickly. Agility means you can actually make a change very quickly also, like what I mentioned just now. Blue-green deployment, right? Basically, you have a change and you want to test it. You want to run it at 90% and 10%, like two different sets of code in the same environment. Yeah, you can do something like that using DevOps. improve efficiency. Yeah, you basically less time, less spend on doing those things lah. Focus on your own, what you are good at lah. Basically, automation by orchestration. Yeah, again, you can orchestrate things much better, and you have a much clearer view of your entire environment, and you have more prompt deployment, of course. Yeah, once you have a smooth delivery process. Am I going too quickly, or so far anything that anyone has questions so far? No. Okay. No. I'll take it as no then. Okay, I'll just quickly go on. So typically how in a DevOps, right? Typically people will talk about different stages. There are four different stages that you will be looking into: continuous integration, continuous testing, delivery, continuous delivery, and continuous monitoring. So when you first get that started, you probably just have code that works, right? That's a minimum. But after you have your code that works, you want it to be able to automatically deploy to your environment. Yeah, so you will start from continuous integration, which means that your code, upon you doing a check-in, like you have done your coding and then you check in, right? Yeah, I hope you all know what a check-in is. Yeah, this basically you have a code repository like Git, and then you done your changes, then you want to save it, like in your local machine you call saving in a file, right? But in order to, in a shared environment, distributed development environment, you want to check in the code. It's like saving to a shared space now. You save it to a shared space so that everyone can see your change. Now that's called your check-in, right? So your check-in, then immediately the server will detect your change, your check-in, and then will be able to start doing some work to build it of course, because you have made some change so I assume you want to build it so he will go ahead to build for you, and then run unit tests, and then deploy, copy it for you, copy your code to the intended machine for you. So that is the starting point It's called continuous integration. It works for the development environment. That's the minimum so at least your web server will have the latest change So that's kind of like a trend or a minimum standard nowadays we work with modern web development nowadays, right? Side by side you can see already when you save straight away the other side you see the change already. So yeah, so continuous integration is that, and then testing, of course, you after you done that, you haven't done testing, you can't really release it. Yeah, you want to ensure the testing is done. So basically you run some further checking on your code. Yeah, ensure you can either use sorry, the what do you call that, yeah, just missed my mind. But there's a requirement checking tool that you basically can validate against your requirement. Yeah, you can run the functional requirement testing, automated testing For example, you use Selenium, you can actually control a browser so that you can do all the checking that it needs, right? That's something that tester usually do. Another job that you can consider. Then continuous delivery. Okay, this is the third step. After you have done your testing, right, you want to go to your production, right? You are ready to be used your super app. Yeah, so you've done your change in whatever app that you have made, and then you want it to go live. So this one is the deployment. It goes to the actual solution, actual production environment. So that process can be automated or it can be semi-automated. You can have someone to approve it. Yeah, you can have some approval also before you want to deploy it. If you have a bigger organization, you may want to do that. Okay. Then last but not the least, you after you deploy, you keep monitoring. You're monitoring your server, you create alerts. Yeah, you make sure that if anything has exceeded what you expect, like your CPU usage or memory usage, you will receive an alert so you can immediately act when there is something that is not working correctly. Yeah, so you can see the whole process has been like put together in a loop so that you can continue to develop and deploy your code while the actual work can be deployed as soon as possible, without having you to manually go and copy individual things to make it work. Yeah, so that's where the beauty is. It's a full cycle of things. Okay, best practice. I will basically just skip through. Yeah, so yeah, you need to start a build up DevOps culture. You need to have people with the right knowledge, in there to help you to push the different teams. I think it will make more sense to you after you start working in this kind of environment or organization. Yeah, best practice. Usually it's best when you experience the hard one. Yeah, you experience the hard way, then later you know, oh, best practice actually helps. Yeah, but if you haven't gone through it, then best practice is probably a textbook lah. Yeah. So let's just bear with it for now. Yeah, the function testing that I mentioned just now is test-driven development. So basically, you can verify your requirement using something like BDD or TDD tool. So you can run it regularly to check that everything is like perfectly according to what your spec is. Okay, I have to tell very upfront first in Malaysia or even the general industry is not a lot of people put a lot of not rigorous lah, although it's a good thing to have, but I think it's a bit costly to make sure you have this all the time lah. Maybe you work with a very reputable company, then they will probably have something like that. Okay, just to share a bit of knowledge, common understanding. And then central managed repository. This one is very common. Almost all organization nowadays has it. Yeah, you use something like Git. Yeah, to store your code, to store your build artifacts. Yeah, after you build, there's this thing called Docker. You need to store the Docker image, right? So there's this thing called Docker registry to centrally store all your things that you have built. Okay, we'll dive in a little more. Start with continuous integration lah. Well, that's the minimum you can try. Yeah, work with use something that's free, that's easy without a server. Either you want server, you can use Jenkins. If you don't want server, you can see it from my demo in a bit. You can try it yourself also using container. Yeah, anything that works for you. Then enhance it with continuous delivery lah. Take it next step lah. Making it automated, one click or something like that. And after that, you continue to monitor it lah. Okay, now I'm going into the tool set lah. I know this is a lot probably. I'll highlight a few that you probably want to know. First of all, Jenkins is the automation server lah, that the slave or the minion also called. Help me to do this. Just tell it, then it will be the one that give you all the help you to do all the work lah. You imagine a lot of minions trying to help you to do all the low level work. Yeah. Then Git, of course, is your source code control. Yeah, that one. Docker, basically, I think Docker probably will be something that is very important in what we are doing in a bit, but this may not be very easy to explain. I do have so basically it's a Linux container lah. You create a package, means a set of artifacts or a set of definition of all the things that you need to build a software. Yeah, when you build a software, you copy the code, it runs, and then you need to say it runs on port 80. Then you need to say where you put your file, right? Where you put your source code, and then you need to tell you need to install your Java. Let's say you need a Java JDK, you need to install those, right, in order for it to work, right? Then you will also need to say, okay, how big the machine you need, how much RAM you need, those things. All these things bundled together actually is defined inside Docker. Yeah, that can be packaged and to be considered as one unit that you can deploy in different places. Okay, so it defines all those things that I mentioned just now into a package, so you can deploy it. Then there is Ansible and Terraform, which is even higher level now. I want to deploy a lot more of the Docker, the small unit of Docker. I have a few of them now. I want to be able to orchestrate them inside, let's say, Alibaba Cloud. Immediately, we will spin up a virtual machine for you, install the Kubernetes there for you, and then after that, put the Docker container. It's like the whole orchestrator, our entire cloud can have everything that you need inside once you define it in your code. This is your nirvana, the final stage. Once you have reached very agile, right? Probably you have this. But at the beginning, you probably don't need to consider this. Kubernetes is also very common. Yeah, definitely something you need to learn. I think if you are into developing software. Kubernetes is the textbook is the portable, extensible, open source platform. It's the orchestrator. It basically can think of it as the captain for your ship. You are deploying a ship. Let's say an entire ship. Is the captain that says where to go. How many pilots it needs. Sorry, not pilot, but the sailor. Yeah, and the crewman and so on, and how much petrol it needs. It decides all these things. Yeah, to help you to go from point A to point B, and then I'll probably talk a bit more about on that in other slides that I have. Then Prometheus is just a monitoring tool that is used alongside Kubernetes. JUnit is your unit testing work. Yeah, you want to test your code, so you use JUnit for Java and Unit for other frameworks and so on. And then Selenium is the web testing framework. Automate your clicks and typing of tags and so on, simulating a human. Then Maven is the Java build tool that will help you to build Java project. And Packer, I will just skip. Yeah, you can use any language, by the way, Java, but .NET, Python, JavaScript, on this that runs on Linux or even now Windows. Yeah, both actually can be done. SonarQube, yeah, you ensure the quality, you ensure your code coverage, you ensure your code is built with no common mistakes, yeah, that even a computer can find out. Yeah, so this is the sort of program that's used commonly to help you to detect those things. HashiCorp Vault is basically your secret store. Docker itself actually, Kubernetes itself already contains a secret store. You can store secret inside, and then it helps you to manage and transport it in different Kubernetes cluster. So yeah, like what I said just now, Docker is basically you bundle all these things together, code, operating system, network, file storage, everything that you need to run your code into a known a file called Docker file. Okay, then later on you can build it into an image and then send it over to a repository, so it can be downloaded anywhere it needs to by the Kubernetes, right? Okay, so this is in short a Docker. Kubernetes wise, like captain of a ship, conductor or orchestra. How you deploy software based on your configuration. You say what you want it, yeah, it will do it for you. So that's based on your configuration. And then it works with a bunch of machines. Yeah, it has this thing called master. That's kind of like determine your the captain that knows what servers are around. Usually this not single machine, it is multiple machine. So it works in a cluster. Cluster basically a multiple machines. So you have master nodes, and then you have master, and then your worker node. Okay, your master is basically controlling your Kubernetes cluster, knowing where are the things, offer your APIs for you to work with. Yeah, you can use a command line because you talk to your master node. And then the worker node is the one that actually does the work, so-called the minions also. You usually have multiple, so that you have you don't have a single point of failure. So yeah, these are some of the benefits: service orchestration, secrets, configuration management, namespace, which isolates your code delivery, service discovery, and load balancing. Yeah, you can run a lot of workload, yeah, by just adding more pods, we call it, that runs on different machines. It's identical piece of your code that actually runs in the cluster. You have 5 machines, let's say, inside your cluster. You can run hundreds of applications inside. Yeah, provided you have enough memory in it. You're slicing and dicing your entire fleet of machines into smaller chunks, so you can run more efficiently, right? So automated rollback, you because it's so easy to spin up a new thing to run, right? So it's almost effortless, so you can roll back to your last version by having another version side by side, and then you just like a traffic controller switch back to the old one. Yeah, so the original one that's faulty can be thrown away. Okay, so in Alibaba Cloud there is some tools for it. Yeah, we implemented we take these Kubernetes from the open source, and then we put it into as a managed service. So like you all probably know, cloud actually has platform as a service, so you don't have to manage many of the infrastructure. Yeah, so Alibaba Cloud has a tool called Kubernetes Service for Container, ACK in short. is built on top of this thing, virtual machine, ECS. Yeah, so it helps you to build continuous integration, continuous delivery using Kubernetes lah. And for continuous delivery, the recommendation is still Terraform and Packer lah. This is a bit of a brief introduction of the ACK, which is the Kubernetes service that we have. So the thing that you probably need to know here is that it's built on top of our existing cloud computing, including the compute, the network, the storage, cloud services that we existing, and then the Kubernetes actually itself is integrated into the Alibaba cloud, so that you will expect so it will work in the way that you expect. For example, you want a load balancer, it already integrated to a product called server load balancer that is on Alibaba cloud. Yeah, so you don't have to kind of find out later that I need to figure it out myself. So yeah, things like that. So container registry is another portion. Yeah, it stores your images of the Docker. Once you build it, then you need to deploy it into a container registry lah. So we have two versions. One is our version is 5. We actually have 5, not just 2. The dedicated version means you manage your own manage your own master node. Then the managed Kubernetes, which is the most common one for most people, we manage the master node for you, and then you just have to manage your own worker node lah. You define your own worker node, what size you want, and so on. But if you really just want to test out the thing, right, the easiest for you is the serverless stuff. You don't even need to manage your worker node. Everything that you need, just put your configuration there. We'll put out the right size, and then you put the right server for you. You don't know what's underlying. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Basically, you pay the minimum lah. Yeah, among all, if you are just testing it. Yeah. External, it means that you can also integrate with other cloud or other Kubernetes that you already have. Yeah, then you can make use of our UI to actually globally see the entire clusters. And then the edge basically refers to edge processing for 5G. For that you want to process it very near to your customer. Yeah, you can have multiple edge nodes to process your immediately like for video processing, or things like that. This is a bit of a high level architecture lah. I think maybe I can skip that also. Basically, this is the dedicated cluster. You can manage your own. Yeah, master node. AZ, vertical. The 3 vertical means the 3 data centers lah. You can imagine over Malaysia, Alibaba Cloud has 2 data centers. Yeah, so we actually have local data center in Malaysia. So one in KL, one in Klang Valley, the other one Cyberjaya. So you can do things like redundancy. So in case one fail, you still have the other one working. That's very commonly required for any real life application. Okay, this one is the managed Kubernetes. So we'll manage for you. You don't have to do your own management. So you just make sure your worker node is there. We'll show that in a bit in the demo. Also it support window. Window also can run container. Okay, good. I finally come to the demo. Okay, I may need to share again my screen. So far, any question? Well, I take a breather.
At the same time, right, you guys can don't forget to put your questions on the chat so that Mr. Chris can actually help to answer. So for me personally, right, I have a question here. So do you think that like DevOps is suitable for like all SMEs or like students project to use it, and also Kubernetes and cluster stuff?
Okay, I heard you say asking about SME. If it's SME, anything that involve real production development, means you have a real business to run. And usually if you have just one, no problem, you can deploy yourself. You can always copy over things. It's no big deal unless you're already familiar lah. Then I don't think you need to then you can just use whatever you already know. But if let's say you're new, right, you don't need to know, you don't know it, then you can just copy lah. No problem. You can always install all the frameworks, whatever, no problem.
Reinstall it.
But if you are already on something like Kubernetes, right, which means you're already using Docker. You already must have a Docker build. Then you just need to repeat the same script. You have to run your own script each time. You just repeat your script
Oh, yeah.
build, and then make sure you run your, then when you want to deploy, you use your kubectl command, which is to control your Kubernetes cluster. You just type lah. Basically, you just have to be more type. You just need to type a bit more, yeah, and repeat the same thing. If you're not, you're okay with it, a few 10, 20 times, I think it's okay. But if you have many customers, you start to grow, then you want to think about, no, since it's the same thing, right? Why am I doing this over and over again? Then you'll be thinking, oh, how can I improve this? Maybe I can script this. Maybe I can just throw it to a machine, and when I check in the code, it will deploy it for me. So to answer your question, it really, I won't say it's a must, but it's probably good to have. Depends on how fast you want to be and what level you are at a certain point. But for company that's meaning doing real business fast, you want to, let's say, I take a Alibaba, let's say Taobao, for example. We make new change. We have Double 11 events. Before the event, we need to do promotion.
Yeah.
Before that, you want to make sure your things working and able to take the load. It can never be manual. Yeah, you have to be quick, right? Yeah. So you can think of it as a progression. You just need to
Yeah.
know where you are at the moment. Then do just when you start curious about it, try it. Yeah, try a little bit each time. Then, okay. Hope I answer your question.
Yeah, and also right, for our friends here, right, if you really want to touch a little bit about like what is like DevOps stuff or something, right? You can try a little bit with GitHub Actions. I think this is the most minimal thing and most accessible thing. When you push your code, you actually help you to build and check whether um, that's okay or not. Yeah,
Yep. Very good. Very good one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
GitHub
can.
Action is one of the serverless implementation of continuous integration, and yeah, continuous integration. So it's pretty good. I tried it recently also. Okay. Everyone can see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, I'll be looking at the other side of my screen. Okay, so this is the cluster. Yeah, after you log into Alibaba Cloud, right? So you just type container, then you land on container, Kubernetes container service. I already have created the cluster. There are many clusters that I have here. So this is the serverless cluster that I've created. So what I will do, also I have code that I prepared on called Simple Nginx. Yeah, take a look at it. It contains a Docker file and a folder. Inside the folder is basically static HTML lah. And then, so this Docker file, right, is basically an instruction to Docker, the one that builds your Linux container. Yeah, first of all, it will take from Nginx, which is another image. Yeah, it is called official image. So Nginx is a popular reverse proxy, like your web server, like you can think of it. Then I will copy the file from here, this directory, and put it here. Okay, this is the place that Nginx recognize as the HTML folder, right? Now imagine when you copy manually, you have to copy it from here to here, right? So you put down all your instruction of what you need to do upfront. Yeah. So inside this Docker file, then the instruction will just repeat itself. Every time you see this instruction, it will do it for you. It will just copy it. So we'll do a Docker build, then it will go and pull this Nginx image that already provided somewhere by Nginx, and then you copy this directory into this HTML folder. So that's the Docker file. Then the HTML file basically is not much. It's just HTML. Yeah, that says hello. So what I will do here, I will probably create a new one. Do I have some time? Or if not, I will use an existing one. Maybe I'll use an existing one. Yeah, faster. I think. Okay, this is the repository lah. You can do all your Docker machine, Docker command line. Then yeah, I already add a build rule. Basically means that I add a code repository. Yeah, I already added it. Linked to the one that you saw just now. Already linked to it. And then next thing, I actually add a build rule that says, yeah, master lah, and then it take the Docker files inside here, inside the root folder, and then the name is this. Yeah, I already have it here. So each time either can manually build it, or once I do a change, it will automatically go and pull the code and then do the build. Okay, I will do that.
Yeah, so because with the Docker shell, right, you don't need to every time go to the Cloud Shell and type the command again, right?
Yeah, there's this thing, the Cloud Shell, somewhere
Yeah, at the
here.
top right corner.
Yeah, you can use it to do your command. If you want to do anything, you can do it from there. Okay, I think, okay. So you can see here, maybe I delete my deployment first. Okay. Create trigger. Yeah. Okay, that's the container registry. Now back to this is the Kubernetes cluster lah. So I will do a build. Okay. Okay, I already have this version. I already built it before. So I will use my container here, and I will create it from deployment. Okay, I'm thinking which one I should go first. Let's create it from a YAML. Okay, so I changed my code now. Now, just to show that it can build. Okay, so I'll just save it. Now I'm making a change to my code lah, like a developer. I already committed. Okay, that's the easiest way is on the UI, but normally you don't do it here. You do it on your code, and then you call git check-in, and then you git push lah, something like that. So over here, you should be able to see something that already running. Yeah, you can see it's building already. Yeah, because it's already linked to this repository, right? So it will actually pull the code and start to build it. You take about half a minute. Okay. Okay, so that's on the building part. So now I want to deploy the code. So first I make sure I have a service there. DevOps deployment. So I create a deployment using the image I have. So I already created the image before. So just now I already built the Docker image, right? The name of it is DevOps demo. Yeah, okay. And then I'll select the image version. So I built the latest version of it, right? So it will pull everything. So this step is actually initiation. Initially, I set it up one time only. Yeah. So I create a service. This is something that Kubernetes. So I create a service so that I can expose my function. So I call it DevOps. Okay. So later on, I'll be able to access it. Okay, it's done. Yeah. Then I'll click on the detail. You can see this is a Kubernetes. Yeah, trying to say I want two version of the demo running. Yeah, based on whatever definition inside the Docker file. Okay. Yeah, these two, right? Later on, I will kind of look like a round robin. I will point to each of them. Okay, yeah, it's already running. And to check it out, right, I can go to the services. Yeah, you can see the DevOps service. Yeah, it's here. Yeah, it's already created an IP for it, and then is a load balancer. Yeah, that your cluster has now, and then at the back it actually point to the code that is running just now. Can see, right? So you already deploy a service just by deploying a service inside your cluster. Now, okay, that's the first step. I already have a service running. Now I need to make some change, right? So I want to see how fast I can do it. Yeah, let's try. Let's see how fast I can do it. Okay, now I change. Okay, make a code change. So just commit the change. So it's committed already. And I go back and make sure that new build is there.
Yeah.
So this is the container registry where you store the thing.
Building.
So I would say another 30 minutes, 30 seconds. Just have to keep refreshing. Meanwhile, is there any questions or from anyone?
Yeah, and also right, probably for our friends here, right? Because you can see that it's automatically building. Because in previously without like DevOps and register, you need to either SSH to the server itself to actually push the code and change and compile the code and build the code, and also like probably if web project you need to bundle them or anything. Yeah, probably with this Docker you prepare all the commands, then it's automatically building, so you don't need to do any configuration on the server, right?
Correct. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's
It's already running. I think, but I need the incognito. I'm not sure if you.
yeah, probably sometimes due to their cache, clear cache.
Oops. Oh, it's a hard refresh. Hang on. That's familiar with my Mac here. Oh. How do I hard refresh? Let me see. I want to create I created the incognito just now actually, but I don't know how do I share it.
Probably you reshare your screen. You
Okay.
reshare, yeah, and then you reshare, then you probably can return it back later. Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. It's okay.
Okay. There's one more thing I need to do. I need to create a trigger. Okay. Now after I have, I actually missed out a step lah. Sorry about that. Let me do that now. Okay. I already deployed the code, right? So what I need to do, I need to go to the deployment, and there's a trigger. Okay, I create a trigger first. Trigger to redeploy. So I trigger redeploy means that it will call this code to redeploy into the registry. So I need to copy that URL that will make the redeploy, and then I create a trigger inside here, so that after you make a change, it will know to trigger this and call the Kubernetes to redeploy again. Yeah, I miss out this important step. Okay, so I will make another change.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, now I made the change. Then yeah, it will start building again. Okay. So this is the trigger. So meanwhile, this is still the old one. You can see it's created on 48, right? Yeah. Later on, it will be different. Once the build, yeah, you see, it's already pending. It's trying to create a latest one. You see, 3 things running at the same time, while the other 2 is still running. It's trying to create a new one already, so it knows something has changed. So while you are still doing this, right, you see your old one can still run, right? Your running one is still running. Yeah, I hope you understand. Yeah, you see, yeah, it has 4 now. Yeah, it's trying to create 2 new ones and then replace the old one. Yeah, you can see the date. There are 255 and 248. Yeah, now the 55 is running and then the 48s are terminating. So you can see it's kind of replacing. So this is what Kubernetes is doing for you. You have 4 actually running at the same time, but then it knows when to stop them, when to start them, and take over the other one. Yeah. So that's how Kubernetes is helping you. Okay. So I hope the refresh is working. Okay. So now
yeah,
you
okay.
have the version 2. After, sorry about the timing. Yeah, I think I
Yeah, no
I can do
problem.
better the next time.
Yeah, no problem. It's okay.
Yeah. So with that is my presentation. I will then move on
Yeah.
to
Let's go with Q&A or
yeah,
you
yeah.
have a
If
quizzes.
there's a Q&A, if there's not, then we'll go to the quiz.
Yeah, we have a question here. So he want to ask about how is Alibaba cloud adoption in Malaysia currently?
Generally, we are very strong with retail. That's where our forte is, right? I mean, Ali is known for our e-commerce and also our internet business, gaming. Yeah, these are some of our forte lah. I mean, we're pretty strong in those. And in security as well. This is something that we have focused a lot. Why is this so? There's always a reason. We run Taobao and Tmall, like the Double 11 event. Yeah, so there need to be a very good to ensure the internet business can run continuously without disruption. So we need to build the server to be very scalable, very fault tolerant, able to take the load, and yet secure, right? So these are some of the things that we spend a lot of investment make it work. So now we are kind of like offering it as a service lah. So you can expect the same kind of quality that is put inside to support the Double 11. So these are some of our, so the adoption of, if you are talking about adoption of Alibaba Cloud in Malaysia, yeah, these are some of the our key areas, our strong forte.
Yeah, sure. And also, you want to ask about any recommendation for materials for students to learn Alibaba Cloud. For example, I remember because I'm an ambassador from another cloud provider company, a student ambassador. So they actually provide like student code labs or stuff for
Correct,
students to
correct.
actually learn cloud stuff. Are
Yeah.
there any like yeah?
Yeah, you can go to like NG has shared, right? edu.alibabacloud.com. You can take the ACA. That's more of a conceptual exam and knowledge for you. It's more of a textbook type. Yeah, you can learn the concept. Yeah, you can start from there. Once you want to go hands-on, right, you can go for something called LabX lah, labex.com. Okay, /Alibaba. So that's where you can do hands-on coding. Yeah, following some guides. Yeah, that will be pretty useful as well.
Okay. So like I'm gonna ask like because there are also for other classes for example for AWS they have certified cloud practitioner or something. In Alibaba,
Yes,
do they have any
yes, that,
license for like
yes. Yeah. Maybe I did not explain very clearly just now. ACA is our certified. I don't know what's it. So Alibaba Cloud certified. Yeah. Uh, I don't know what's the A stand for. I forgot. But it's the certification that is for anyone who wants to be either a developer or solution architect or who wants to understand that. Yeah. Thanks, NG. Associate. Yeah. And then we for the next level is called Alibaba Cloud Professional (ACP), and then we have a ACE expert level. So we have multiple levels. Yeah. So you can definitely start with ACA. That's the level that you for getting to know more about the cloud and for Alibaba Cloud. Yeah.
yeah. I will say for the professional exam, the fees is like a lot cheaper than other provider. I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, after looking at the
We've
price,
been
it's
trying to
a
be
lot, a
very
lot, a
friendly
lot cheaper.
to we try to be very friendly and yeah, just talk to Angie. Yeah, I mean she definitely will be able to share more with you all. Yeah, it's quite cheap lah, I would say. Okay, can
Yeah,
I
it's quite cheap.
go
It's
to
very
okay,
cheap. Yeah,
sorry.
you can go for the quiz. Yeah,
Okay, I should.
yeah, you can go for the quiz now, probably. Yeah,
All right. Let
yeah.
me
So guys, now we're going for a quiz.
yeah,
And for this
fastest
quiz, they
finger
will
first.
give you some perks. Fastest fingers first. Guys. So let's wait
Yeah,
for
let's get
our
ready
countdown for like
your finger.
10 seconds.
Ready,
Yeah,
ah?
so we count down for one. Yeah,
Ready, then we go
10,
ahead.
5,
9, and 4,
4,
3, 2,
3, 2.
1. Okay. Which DevOps process responsible for frequent deployment from code to production environment? Which process, which DevOps
I think I
process
won't participate.
you, that can help you to frequently deploy
Yeah, which is the
to
process?
production?
Yeah, I'll say C.
I see you got answers already. Not then I will. CI, CD. Oh, Kim, your answer also. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Kim, you are right lah. Yeah, the fastest one from my record here. Okay. Yeah, it's
yeah.
CD. That's correct. Continuous
Yeah,
deployment.
so it's delivery.
Congratulations.
Usually CI and CD they are usually together lah. Yeah. And also
Yeah, but some
like
people.
yeah, you probably can
Some
say.
some org just do CI lah. One of the org that I work with, they never do CD. They just stop at CI. But if you're talking about your own, then why not, right? Why not just do CD? Because sometimes they need to consider the business side. They may not want to immediately be so impacted. Continuous delivery. All right. Congrats, Kim. Hey.
Let's
Then next, ready, So
guys ready,
Kim,
yeah?
you need to give chance already,
I give chance, okay. I give chance to others.
Answer later if others
Yeah.
don't give the answer. Okay, okay, try. What's the
Uh,
name of the Alibaba cloud service that can provide managed Kubernetes service?
if you don't know, there's Google for you as well.
Yeah.
But Chris actually mentioned it just now.
Yep. That will provide the
Provide
managed
for you
Kubernetes
guys.
service.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see why.
Yeah.
Yay. Got it. ACK. Yeah. Alibaba Cloud container service for Kubernetes. Container service for Kubernetes. That's the right one. Okay, and your final option, final chance. Yeah. Let's go. Which Alibaba Cloud product that play a role as a continuous integration server inside the demo? That's another thing, another product.
I'll leave for the guys. Guys, do you know that? We are part of the Rosso continuous service in the demo.
Yep.
Yeah, that one. I
The
think
one that helped
yeah,
to push the code, the set up the trigger, that one.
yeah. I think we mentioned quite a lot just now.
No,
Yeah,
Jenkins is the one. Oh, I did not use Jenkins.
yeah. Jenkins is like a tool, and so
Hmm.
you need to write some code. Usually, like
Mm,
you want to automate the CI/CD stuff. Like for
yeah,
example, GitHub Action, you need to write Jenkins.
yeah. You can define your config
Yeah,
in some kind of
config.
a GitHub action file or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Jenkins, you support UI. Yeah, you can configure, click, 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 click. Then you end up, but you still need to put your script there, lah, what you want to do. Continuous integration server is also the thing that store the Docker image just now. Yeah, it
yeah,
basically monitors the GitHub just now, yeah, to pull the thing and then start building it, and then after that it do a trigger to the deploy. So anyone still want to go with it? Have you
What
found?
want to go?
Start with container. Yes,
Container. Yeah,
start with container. Last word.
container something.
Yeah, container something.
Yeah,
Any
you guys
taker?
can just guess. You can just
Yeah,
guess.
you can just guess.
Yeah, there are not many words behind. Yeah, you guys can just guess. Yeah.
Container. Rah, rah, rah.
Uh,
Oop. Oh, container orchestration. Nice word, but not the answer.
not the answer.
Container
Container
service. Wow,
service.
close. Maybe a next service.
Is
Container service is
container.
is something that you store something. You need before you go marriage. You go get married. You need to do what? Before you marry, you need to go to
Ah.
what? You know. Sorry, R. Sorry, R.
Yeah. So I think
sorry. Oh, so Haojing.
yeah, he get it.
Congratulations.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you need to do your ROM. Register.
Yes,
Okay.
ROM. Got it register. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I hope that is the brief intro. Then it gives you a
Yeah.
little more understanding of how things are. Yeah, and hope you have some fun. And
Yeah.
thank you very much, you guys.
Yeah, really thank you, Chris, for the presentation just now. If you guys right have any questions, you can still leave it here. And yeah, I want to ask one thing, right? Do Ali Cloud provide like any free credits for students or something, especially Xiamen students? Yeah, Xiamen University. For information, Xiamen University Malaysia is actually partnered with Alibaba Cloud. Yeah, just for you guys to actually get to know more about this information. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
So yeah, do they have provide any credits or stuff for
yeah.
students to try out or something to host the
Yes,
projects?
we do. If your university partner with Alibaba Cloud via our academy program.
Mhm.
Yep. Yes, and yep, you can definitely contact NG for more info
Yeah, if you guys
on
want
that.
to get some free credits, okay? Yeah, actually free credit is the best lah. Especially you as a student is your
Yeah.
is your last chance for getting
Mhm.
free credit. It's
Yep.
very good thing
You can
because
write to NG. That's her email on the chat.
yeah, I
Yep.
created NG. There's an email. Yeah, you want to get the credits, you can get
With
from them.
with
Yeah,
your
because
education mailbox. Yeah. Sure.
yeah, education mailbox because you can actually host your projects if you want to try it out. Yeah, so I wouldn't say that if you want to try out cloud, you don't need to have like a full-fledged app. You can just try it out how it works, how for example you want to try out DevOps, Kubernetes, or you want to try out how IAM works, which is basically setting roles for people to actually have the access control stuff, or you want to try out virtual machine and stuff. Yeah, there's a very interesting stuff. Cloud is a pretty interesting world, especially if you are into backend. I would say nowadays people need experience in cloud now. I would say if you are working on backend, especially. Yeah.
Mm. Yep.
And also, if you want to be a DevOps developer, yeah, I would say it is also like uh, uh, a job which is like trending, quite
Yep.
trending, and yeah, especially for
DevOps is
big
still
companies.
trending, and I think there's still a major shortage generally. Yeah, it's something that you can still aim for. Or a
Yeah,
developer, it's always there's always demand lah. I mean, and even until now lah. And then
yeah,
solution architect, or tester, maybe, but I'm not so familiar with tester, but there's always a need for testers still.
Yeah.
DevOps engineer, yeah. The security definitely very very demanding, in demand also, but requires a lot of in-depth knowledge. I think that's definitely something that's going to pick up. Yeah,
Yeah.
security. As a
Yeah.
security, I think you can demand a very good pay in
Yeah.
future.
So one last question for us before we end this session. Do Alibaba Cloud have any like internship or career opportunities for people, students or something?
Hmm. I think for over here, I think there is. By myself, I'm a bit new to the organization, but maybe NG can help me
Probably
with
NG.
that question also.
Yeah.
But I think there is internship, but so far what I see is from China. Yeah,
Mm.
right. Okay, you can write to
Okay.
NG if you have the
Okay.
further question.
If you want to seeking for internship, yeah, you can also ask them for that. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think basically that's today. We actually learned a lot about the cloud, Alibaba Cloud, and also if you really want to get exposed to cloud, right, you can actually go to Alibaba Cloud. Since we already at the advantage, our university is like we actually as a student, as a partnership with the Alibaba Cloud, you can get credits if you want. You can email Angie. She actually provide her email here. If not, probably you can get it from me later as well. Yeah, if you want to explore for the certificates or something, they actually provide a link there just now.
Hmm.
The EDU e-learning
Yeah.
courses, you can actually go for the
Yeah.
courses for the certification. It acts as like a little proof for you that you have the
Yes.
knowledge in cloud, but it's not necessary totally, I would say, but it is like a proof for you to
Yeah.
prove that yeah you're in your CV or something you have the knowledge in
Hmm.
cloud. Yeah.
Yep, definitely another thing that I probably missed out is learning cloud definitely has given me a a very good besides the knowledge of the fun, yeah, but definitely a very good job opportunity also. I can work with different organization. For the past three organization, yeah, it's something related to cloud. Yeah. So I can tell you how that has helped me personally. Yeah. I think four
Yeah, yeah,
four last four job has something to do with cloud. Yeah.
yeah. Cloud is
Okay.
definitely like emerging thing lah. So yeah, really thank you everyone for joining today. Thank you for all the participants and thank to Aggie and thank to Chris for actually hosting this with us and have this session for our students to get to know more about the cloud and Kubernetes and Dockers. Yeah, so really thanks you guys and you wish you guys have a good night today and
Thank you.
explore more
Thank you
about the
for
cloud.
having us.
Yeah.
Look
Thank you,
forward to
Chris.
seeing you. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you,
Aggie.
Kim. Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone. Thank
yeah,
you, NG.
we have a full lockdown since 1 of June, which is announced just now. A bad news for us. Full lockdown, yeah, just now. I think half an hour ago.
Finally. Oh. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Stay
thanks for
safe,
sharing.
everyone.
So
Okay.
when you're
Cheers.
staying at home, you can actually have the chance to explore more about the cloud and stuff. But don't forget, you guys, you can follow us on you can follow our social media, XMUN Tech Club on Instagram, LinkedIn for XMUN Tech Club, and Facebook XMUN Tech Club. Okay. So for this recording, we actually put it on our YouTube channel. If you want to rewatch some little contents that he mentioned, if you feel like you haven't get it, you want to rewatch a little bit, you can go back to watch it. Okay. So we will upload this probably tonight or tomorrow. Okay. So thanks guys for joining, and wish you guys have a good night. Thank you. Yeah, cloud is interesting. Yeah. And also, for you guys, we are also having another expert session 2 weeks later, which we are talking about product design. So stay tuned on our social media, XMUN Tech Club, for all the social media. I think you know, except Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You can get our news there. So I think we end this. Bye, guys. Bye.